Hi-Fi Rush is the latest game from the Evil Within team at Tango Gameworks. It is absolutely gorgeous, hilarious, plays incredibly well, and is one of the best surprises in a while that I honestly can remember. Announced and released in the same day, I've spent 11 hours straight playing what is a damned near masterpiece of an action platformer. So let's get into it in the XboxEra review of Hi-Fi Rush. You are Chai, an annoying moron. With a damaged arm, he signs up for a project promising him a new lease on life. Little does he know that the evil corporation he's signing his life away to has other plans. After the robotification project goes awry, Chai is left with a superpowered robo-arm and a music player lodged in his chest. The world moves to a beat in Hi-Fi Rush, and everything Chai does to the rhythm is enhanced. The first thing he'll come across is a pipe, which quickly gains the appearance of a guitar thanks to all the scrap that ends up being magnetized to it. Axe in hand, you'll meet up with various misfits and outcasts who all have a tie to the evil mega corporation, and over the course of 12 missions you will fall in love with this stupid and gorgeous world. Hi-Fi Rush is an action rhythm game interspersed with platforming segments and light puzzles. It moves at a relentless pace during missions, cutting between stunning cutscenes that animate at a slightly lower frame rate but retain the same cel-shaded visual style of the main gameplay. And I cannot overstate how good looking this game is. The animation work is excellent, the textures are pristine, and the image quality is crystal clear. Colors pop and the world sings to you as everything moves to the beat of the music. And the music, my god. For a person born in the early 80s, it sounds like my formative years. The humor and style aim at the zoomer, but we millennials are in for a treat with bands like Nine Inch Nails leading the way as you murder robots with glee. In between missions, you'll have access to a hub world where you can upgrade your skills, learn new ones, customize your outfit, and hang out with your crew. I try not to spoil things, but there is a delightful robot kitty cat named 808 that has one of the best sections during a game I might have ever played. It was so stupid, heartwarming, and awesome that I cannot wait for people to see it. Every character shines in a story that never stops being stupid, but has a deeply emotional moment in the second half that had me on the edge of my seat. You get a big payoff in that story, and it's a modern miracle as I loved every single boss fight. Because boss fights almost always suck, but I loved all of them here and I didn't find them overly difficult on the normal difficulty setting. Rhythm is the key to mastering Hi-Fi Rush, but you don't have to always be on the beat. You will always attack, but doing so on the beat adds damage and other positive possibilities. You'll get a dash, parry, and have a double jump right from the start. All of these and more are tied to the beat, so that when you use them on it, they work better and can activate more powerful versions. X is your main attack, with Y being your heavy one. The right bumper is your dash, while the left bumper will become a magnetic grappling hook. The right trigger will activate your chosen ally to help you in combat or puzzle solving, while the left trigger cycles through them. B is your parry, which becomes hugely important later on. The moment-to-moment combat is constantly broken up by small rhythm-based minigames, and it keeps things feeling fresh the entire time. The game is like a rhythm Devil May Cry mixed with some of the best 3D anime-style visuals I've ever seen. The upgrades available add so many combos, super moves, and just extra abilities to you and your friends that I never once felt like the combat was becoming stale. On the platforming front, it can feel a bit off at first, but once I realized how much jumping and dashing to the beat added distance-wise, things clicked. It's not perfect, but it's damned good once you get the hang of it, and much like the combat, there are constant minigames built into the platforming that worked brilliantly at keeping the pace up. After beating the main campaign, things are not done. Like any good action platformer, there's a new difficulty, there's challenges, and a level select that are all there to help you keep engaged for dozens of more hours. It's an incredible amount of content for what is a $30 package at launch, and of course, it is available day one through Game Pass on console, cloud, and PC. But it is only on Xbox Series consoles and not on Xbox One. And as I said before, Hi-Fi Rush is gorgeous. It's unique in a way I find a bit difficult to describe, as it really does feel like a modern 3D anime come to life, except it looks better than any 3D anime I've seen, both during gameplay and cutscenes. The title runs at 4K 60 FPS on Series X, which is where I reviewed it, and it's also supposed to be 1440p and 60 FPS on a Series S. I noticed 0 frame rate drops while playing, though the change in frame rate was jarring a few times while transitioning from gameplay to cutscene. My only issue with the game is that the combat can become difficult to read as the screen fills up with utter chaos. Sometimes I just wasn't sure on when to dodge, parry, or attack, as it was occasionally obfuscated by enemies and effects. Sound-wise, my first impression wasn't that positive on the main character. He was high-voiced and whiny and seemed really dumb, but by the end I thought both his character and the actor's portrayal were excellent. The writing in the game is phenomenal and accomplishes the nearly impossible task for a video game by being genuinely funny pretty much the entire time. The story and setting, again, without giving too much away, started out in an okay spot, but after a few hours I was completely engrossed and quickly fell in love with each of the main characters. Even the villains are all standouts thanks to their excellent voice work and smartly crafted boss encounters. All of this goodness is wrapped up in a very 2000s feeling soundtrack that kicks ass. Not every song in the game is licensed, and the Bethesda studio tracks hold up well against some serious heavyweights of the music industry. Sound effects are clean, and the positional audio worked really well for letting me know where enemies were in the heat of a fight. Accessibility-wise, there are a wide number of options to help those with vision impairments, along with settings to make the combat and staying in rhythm less taxing. You can play the entire game using 1 or 2 buttons if you like, and the game will auto-combo and use teammates on its own. There are difficulty-based achievements, which I know some don't like, and my full campaign clear ended with me only getting 310 out of the 1,000 achievements. But I had 0 crashes or bugs of any type while playing. It might actually be the first time in years that I can say that. Not one freeze, not even a hitch. No crashing or odd enemy behavior. I never clipped through a wall or had the sound cut out. It was as bug-free in 11 hours of gaming as I can remember. Wrapping things up, Hi-Fi Rush came out of nowhere and floored me. It is one of my favorite looking games maybe ever. The combat is sublime, the story is great, and the music just works. Tango Gameworks has shifted from making okay to good horror games and created one of my favorite action platformers of all time.